This is Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I trust today this will be like a vitamin and a supplement for your mind and heart. And please, wherever you receive podcasts from, would you please subscribe to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, leave a rating and a brief review. It'll help and enable other fantastic people like you to be able to locate this podcast. I'm also looking for the next level leader, someone who feels like they'd like to go for their dream, they'd like to reach their goals, and would be interested in me coming alongside and help coach you. Just go to drronblake.com/call, drronblake/call. Give me a call. You'll get on my calendar. I'll give you a call, and we'll see what the possibility may be. I want to speak to you today about mentoring magic. Now, I've been around long enough that mentoring and those kinds of terms were not used when I was starting out several years ago. But though the word was not used, the title was not given, the concept was still in place. For as I reflect over my life, I can think of a lot of people who came into my life and were mentors. And there were also folks who came into my life who coached me, even though we didn't talk about that. Those words get bandied about quite often now. And at times, those of us in leadership have to put on one or the other hat from time to time. But there is a difference and a distinction between mentoring and coaching, and both are very significant. Mentoring differs from coaching, though, generally, because it occurs over a longer amount of time. And though it may be formalized, it does have a little more of an informal feel because it's not as time-bound. And the purpose of mentoring is to develop a person holistically for their whole life, for their future. And then coaching is usually a little more short-term. It begins to help an individual overcome a specific or a few current issues or challenges that they're facing. But you can use them both together, and I highly recommend it. Mentoring and coaching strengthen and mature and really help guide and direct all of us. Coaching really helps you stay engaged throughout the learning process, but a mentor helps develop you into the lady or man that God designed for you to be. So today we're going to talk about mentoring, and I'm going to speak about 6 aspects of it so that we can just talk about. One of the great things about mentoring is it really reduces stress. I can remember having 2 degrees under my belt, having studied for nearly 8 years to do what it was I was doing. And on my first day at that endeavor, I went into my office the next day and wondered, what is it that I'm supposed to do? For no matter how hard you train, if your training is only academics and theory or very contrived experiences, you are going to be filled with stress because this is indeed something that is new. And the true tragedy really is that most people's lives, they are far better than they imagine themselves to be. We know our weak spots, we know our setbacks and our failures, and we kind of begin to think less about ourselves. I know you think it's just a cliche, but I end nearly every one of my podcasts by telling you, my leadership friend, you are doing better than you think you are, and there's a genuine reason that I do that. My friend listening today, you probably haven't gotten a lot of encouragement lately. You know what's wrong. You know what needs to be worked on. But could I invite you for a moment to just step back and reflect? You have come a long way. You have made a difference. You keep doing the right things each and every day, and you will create a powerful legacy and an unbelievable future. So it can reduce stress having a mentor because someone needs to speak into your life and say, hey, my friend, yes, there are these things to work on. I'd be happy to advise you or tell you what I have done in those kinds of situations. But the best thing I can tell all of you today is, if we're still alive, and you have to be alive to listen to this podcast, that's a prerequisite. Let me just help you reduce your stress level a little bit. You have made it through a lot of tough things in your life, and you're going to make it through this. So if you are going to mentor someone, and periodically there'll come times for correction, the same thing in coaching, there'll be times when you have to maybe recalibrate things for someone. Don't forget to be an encourager. The people are under an enormous amount of stress. Let's be realistic, but let's also be encouragers and help to reduce the stress in people's lives. Now, the second thing is so important, in my way of thinking, about mentoring. It is that the mentee is able to see things in real time. You see, as I was studying in college and graduate school, I knew the practices, I knew the theories, I'd read the book, I'd even talked to a few people, but I was disconnected from the real life of what I was supposed to be doing. I hadn't really seen it in real time. The problems I read about were in books. And so when the problem became too heavy for me, I'd close the book and refresh and rest, recreate, and come back later. Well, in real life, things happen much more quickly. Now, I am an advocate for education. Not only have I gone to school many years of my life, I am still involved. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees at my alma mater. So I still hang around that environment and believe in it and love it, and it's absolutely essential. But mentoring can help folks see things in real time. For the problem was the writer E.M. Forster, who said that spoon feeding people in the long run teaches people nothing but the shape of the spoon. Now, I understand that there are times when I've taken new assignments or gone to do new things or trying to tackle new disciplines or pick up a new skill set, that it is time. There are times when you're learning, it feels like you're receiving information out of a fire hose. It's just coming at you and you barely have time to process that. And you can't go through all of life like that, of course. But mentoring isn't trying to soft sell, and nor is it trying to spoon feed and just give people enough that they can handle. We're all going to be stretched, but you can help people see things in real time. Yes, it's overwhelming right now as you're starting this new position, you're learning this new skill set. But given time, everything else that you've attempted in your life, you have learned to somehow master it. And you will master this new position, and you will master these new skill sets. So mentoring really helps the persons involved to see things in real time. There is a sense in which mentoring is sort of the 21st century version of networking, because today, the lines between mentoring and networking are blurring. Someone said made a new word calling it mentworking. But I think even in my own life, where in fact the mentoring relationships were not formalized, it just sort of happened. I sort of attached myself to individuals. And sure enough, as I reflect back upon it, they were a part of my network. Now, I know that there are some who think that networking is a nice sanitized word for manipulation, and that's not the case. Whatever discipline or field of study that you're in, you need a network of peers, of people who are ahead of you, people who are behind where you are, and it just helps. Now that I'm older, I look back, even without ever getting up one day and saying, I am going to build a network. It just happens. Networks are built on a relational framework. You have to be genuinely interested in people. If they feel that you're only interested in them because of their title, because of what they can do for you. That people can smell that, and they can absolutely see through that. Networking is a way of saying, I have a lot of expertise. I do not have to sit here by myself and figure it all out. There are people in my network who have faced things and they have gotten through it and they have made it. Let me learn from them. It's great to learn from your own mistakes, but it's really wonderful to learn from the mistakes of others if they're willing to share them. And when you've made as many as I have, I'm more than willing to share them with other people. The fourth thing is just the sense of interaction, which reduces isolation, which is the enemy of about everything. I mean, mentoring is really at times nothing more than a brain to pick, someone to provide you an ear to listen. And once in a while, it's a gentle nudge or sometimes a stronger push in the right direction. In this interaction, I want to point out here that there's a reverse side to mentoring, and that is I have learned a lot from my mentees. There are some of the folks who would say that I have mentored them who I have learned so much. They help me understand the culture. I'm a little bit removed from the culture today, and they help me, they save me. It was from some of these people that were mentees to me that I learned technology. They are natives to technology. I'm an immigrant. And so don't go in as a mentor thinking, I am really going to help this person. I'm going to teach them. I feel like, and I'm genuinely sincere, I feel that I have gotten so much out of every one of those relationships and that I'm a better person and yes, even a better leader because of the interaction with a mentor and a mentee. Mentoring, and I'm talking about when I'm the one doing the mentoring. I've done podcasts before on what my mentors have meant to me. But as I'm listening to someone share and they've asked me to help them with something, mentoring also has an aspect to it that as the mentor, it forces me to hold a mirror up to myself. Am I just blowing smoke? Am I just doing happy talk? Or do I genuinely really believe that? When I'm telling this is what you do, this is what I do, am I being absolutely forthright and genuine? And I have just discovered, as I've already mentioned in closing on this particular point, interacting with different people allows me to be a better person. I was just interviewed on a podcast by Joanne Bastine, who was on staff with me, and she's an incredible leader, and I've learned a lot. She says she learned something from me, but I learned a lot from her. So the interaction is absolutely essential. The fifth item I want to say is it's the real world experience. I had a lot of book learning. I had knowledge when I started out, but I had very little to almost none when it came to real world experience. Find someone who's doing what you want to be doing or where you want to be, and just let them tell the stories of their lives so that you can understand and learn from their real world experiences. They're really, really powerful. The last thing that I want to mention about the mentoring relationship is it really helps us get a handle on soft skills. I have met quite a few people down through the years who were intellectual, who were spiritual, who were good men and women and had it all together. But if there was an area where they were lacking, it was in the area of the soft skills, those kinds of things. They weren't very resilient. And so when you're having a mentor, find out how they made it through crisis. And I can guarantee you, if they're still alive and breathing, they've gone through a few crises. Ask them how they came back. Listen to the story. These are the soft skills that we all need, regardless of what endeavor. Whether you're in a not-for-profit, a church, you're a Fortune 500 leader, you're a solopreneur, an entrepreneur, makes no difference. If you don't learn resilience and get some grit, you're going to have a hard time. Ask them about overcoming the setbacks, for setbacks will be your companion. Don't just ask them about their successes. Why don't you ask your mentor, what were 4 or 5 of the biggest mistakes that you were involved with, and how did you learn, and what processes did you go through in order to have that kind of learning? Ask a mentor, how do you get along with people who think differently, act differently, react differently? How do you keep all of these various people on the team when everyone is so absolutely different? So the mentoring magic is it reduces stress. It helps the mentee to see life in real time. It's a powerful networking tool for everyone that together we can help each other. It's great to interact because interaction always combats isolation that all leaders feel. It really allows you to apply your real world experience and allow it to be a blessing to someone else. And it really helps all of us to hone and develop soft skills. You've been listening to Dr. Ron's Words of Wisdom, words on leadership, goal setting, productivity, and a whole lot more. I really do trust this has been like a vitamin or a supplement for your mind and heart. I'm looking for that next level leader that I can come alongside and coach. If you want to see what the possibilities are, go to drronblake.com/call, drronblake.com/call. You'll get on my calendar and I'll give you a call. Always remember, my leadership friend, it is absolutely true. You are doing better today than you think you are. You really are. And until next time, this is Dr. Ron saying, have a great and blessed day.